Saint Isaac, on spiritual pearls and how they are found in prayer. A swimmer dives naked into the sea until he finds a pearl. And a wise monk, stripped of everything, journeys through life until he finds in himself the pearl, Jesus Christ. And when he finds him, he does not seek to acquire anything else besides him. A pearl is kept in a vault, and a solitary's delight is preserved within stillness. As the eyes of the helmsman look to the stars, so the solitary, throughout the whole course of his journey, looks with the inner eye of divine vision to the goal which he fixed in his mind from the first day when he gave himself to voyaging over the billowy sea of stillness, until he discovers that pearl for the sake of which he set off into the unfathomable deep of the ocean of stillness. If the diver found a pearl in every oyster, then everyone would quickly become rich. And if he brought one up the moment he dived, without the waves beating against him, without any sharks encountering him, without having to hold his breath until he almost expires, without being deprived of the clear air which is granted to everyone, and having to descend to the abyss, if all this were the case, pearls would come more thick and fast than lightning flashes. It is in this way you should understand me. And let those who dive into the sea of stillness act as teachers, those who alight on the riches of the sea, descending to the heart of the earth. Let us consider as oysters the prayers upon which the intellect alights, the contemplative insights, divine knowledge, wisdom, joy in spirit. In the case of divers, they will very often go down and find oysters consisting of just ordinary flesh. Only once in a while will there be a pearl in it. Their experience is also ours in the commerce which consists in prayer. Barely a single one occurs through us wherein there is consolation for our weariness. They say that in a shell where a pearl is born, lightning produces a kind of spark, and the shell draws matter from the air, whereas until then it is merely flesh. And until a monk's heart receives heavenly matter through intuitions, its labor remains barren, and its shell holds no fruit of consolation. Those who are skilled in the craft, who possess the experience of age and long practice in this labor, also know how to make their bodies' movements dive down to deep places, where they can find superb and incomparable pearls of great price. Similarly, this happens corresponding to the ability of the mind, which swims about in such places during the time of prayer, places where it is not easy for everyone to swim. In the case of our feeble selves, whose swimming takes place close to dry land, it is only these following small pearls which come up for us. That is, when they do come up at all. And these do so when we dive eagerly, many times over, holding the breath of thoughts of this world during our prayers and offices, which constitute a little respite from tears. For they consist of a warm sensation coming from God's grace falling upon us, through which we will receive forgiveness of our sins, a sweet and peaceful fervor, a joy and sense of unexpected lightness, and occasionally the testimony of assurance concerning our firm hope and specific insights concerning God's care and compassion for us. Just as the dolphin stirs and swims about when the visible sea is still and calm, so also when the sea of the heart is tranquil and still from wrath and anger, mysteries and divine revelations are stirred in her at all times to delight her. If, while we are still in a state of infancy, and being captivated by desire to see the riches which our preeminent fathers brought up and still bring up, we importunately make for the profoundly deep places in the sea where they have swum, then we will be drowned in the sea. And if, because our pearls seem to our eyes easily come by and small by comparison with theirs, or if we hold back from the fatigues of the sea and cease entirely from our eagerness, then we will never learn about the swimming which is involved in prayer, nor will we attain to the intellect's skill which belongs to wisdom of spirit, nor will we descend to the depths which bear riches. And maybe our daily bread will not even be provided for the sustaining of our short lives, and we will end up in destitution, remaining always in a state of need. But the hand of the Lord which taught our fathers about the spiritual swimming that takes place in the intellect, and about confidence in the sea journey so full of riches, is not too small to grant us too, in His own time, strong arms which will reach out over the waves of the fearful sea, in order to reach those places from which our fathers brought up spiritual treasures.